Good morning, YouTube. JT Serenity Farms prepping here with a very sunny 7 o'clock morning. There. It's supposed to rain later today, just like yesterday was a monsoon, 300 gallons of water, all good. So today's topic is the housing market and the soon inevitable collapse. It shouldn't come as a surprise to anyone that there's going to be another collapse of the housing market. This is what liberals do. If you remember back when the Clinton and Obama regimes were trying to destroy the country, they actually were extorting, literally threatening banking institutions if they would not loan to minorities and people who did not qualify at that time to buy a home. Why did they do this? Well, of course, they use the old racism. You're not lending to blacks, Hispanics, and other minorities and people who can't afford homes because you're racist. Well, no. We're not lending to people who don't qualify to buy homes because we will go bankrupt when all these people forfeit on their loans. And what happened? Predictable as could be. Squatters, housing collapse. Millions of people bought homes that had no business at that time buying a home. Buying a home, owning your own home is not a right. It is a privilege. Now, ironically, the Democrats do not want anyone owning their own home. That was not the plan of letting everyone have the right to own a home when they collapsed the housing market. No, that was the plan. To collapse the housing market, then bail out their banking buddies. They want everyone in mega cities, people like you and I who own their own homes, are a threat because we're independent and we don't count on big socialist government for every aspect of our lives. If we don't live in regime provided housing, they cannot control us. They can raise our taxes through the roof and eventually try and force many of us out, and that is what we see happening in many blue states as people flee to red states. So let's fast forward to 2021, because there's not a lot going on right now. Okay, so once again, we're seeing the housing market do some odd things. If you're paying attention, we know many people are fleeing cesspool cities and moving into the country. They are buying homes sight unseen, paying well over the asking price, creating bidding wars, and raising the taxes of those of us who live in these beautiful, wonderful, isolated rural areas because they're overpaying then they fix them up, they get assessed at $1 gazillion, and then they have to raise our assessments because our property value just got raised because these people came in and beautified a home. All right, now, not everyone leaving the cesspool cities are the very same libtards who created this massive problem we're in the first place. There are some legitimate folks there who have been there for work, family, whatever reason they had, and they just can't do it anymore. They realize that the very continuation of their existence is dependent on them getting out of where they are, okay? And I understand people around me selling their homes for way more than it's worth and making a profit. I get it. I just wish we weren't selling to libtards because we know what happens. But it's a free market capitalist society, and if you can make a couple $100,000, then you have the right to make a couple $100,000. So much for the rest of us. All right, but everyone who sells a home right now should be buying a smaller home after they sell their home. Are they doing that, or are they buying bigger because they made profit? Not looking down the road at what extra taxes, upkeep, and the size is going to be when all the shit hits the fan and everything actually finally collapses. And you may not have a home. If you decide to wait 6-8 months after selling your home because you have a place to live temporarily in hopes of finding a lesser price home or moving to a more conservative area, you might be screwed, because when shit hits the fan, if nothing's been done before they bring in all sorts of travel restrictions, you ain't going anywhere, and you no longer have a home. Now, granted, the libtards can raise taxes so high that we can't afford to keep our home, and we have to move anyway. People should be actively doing that now, getting their asses to a red state, if at all possible. You know, listen to me. I'm in a socialist regime state in beautiful upstate New York, far distance-wise removed from the scumbags down there, but everything they do affects me. Okay, a lot of libtards are moving out of New York City and New Jersey, so how does that affect me? Well, one, they come up here and, as mentioned, raise my taxes. And two, as they leave the cities they created, they are also taxpayers. So as more people leave, taxes have to go up to keep paying for the welfare and illegal scum sucking the teat dry on socialist programs. Did you know that the Federal Reserve, that non-governmental, apolitical organization that is trying to collapse our economy, is backing BlackRock? What is BlackRock doing right now? They are buying up every home that they feel is worth it for them to put into their portfolio. The Federal Reserve is backing them. Why? That's not their business. That's not their job. They have nothing to do with that. They should be hands off. They should be done away with, period, but that's another topic. So why is BlackRock buying up homes to add to their portfolios? Because they understand completely what is going to happen to the dollar. They know our current system of money is very short-lived right now. They want tangible things that have value. I have always made a joke that one thing about land, they aren't making any more of it. It's a joke, but it's true. On a lot of that land are structures. If nobody can afford to buy or rent a home due to an intentional economic collapse by the Democrats, then what will be the value of all those homes for BlackRock to have them? Well, they will still have the land those homes are on. There will be people moved into those homes. The government may very likely be subsidizing BlackRock to put people in those homes. Or there's a bigger plan involving the Chi-Coms. I don't know it all. But you should be very, very concerned that the Federal Reserve is backing BlackRock, and that BlackRock is buying up every home that they believe is worth it. You need to investigate, do a little research, get prepared. If something happens with the white hats, and it's still going to be very, very ugly for a long time, be prepared. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, notification bell. But for now, JT signing off.